dominant response tonight.
Yeah.
Snapped your 2-game skid. What did you like from your team overall tonight?
What did I like, man? I like the fact that we won the football game. We'll start there. I like the fact that we played a complete game, a 3-phase football game. You know, we played well in all 3 phases. I love their resiliency. You know, I don't want to get too specific until I watch the film, because obviously there's a ton that we could probably get better at. I felt like that should have been a bigger margin, to be totally honest with you. We had a feeling early, just from a physicality standpoint, and from an athleticism standpoint on the perimeter. We felt good, you know, and I say the resiliency. The thing I'm most proud of is, I mean, we've had some real negativity outside of this program over these past few weeks, you know, and obviously there was a ton of hype around us going into this thing, but there were some things that we had to figure out. You know, we had a ton of turnover from a staff perspective, from a personnel perspective, and I think people miss sight of that, and it's warranted. You know, when people create expectations for us and we don't meet their expectations, they have some frustrations and they count us out, and that's okay. But these guys realize that those expectations outside of this building don't mean anything. You know, we owe this to ourselves, and I'm proud of their resilience. I'm proud of their grit. They had a great week of work. They never wavered, and we woke up tonight.
Talking about that outside noise, you guys have had a sluggish start to the season, 2-game losing streak. Did you feel any pressure coming into this game? Like, was this a must-win kind of game?
Again, it's outside noise, you know, and the only pressure is the pressure that we put on ourselves. You know, we have expectations for ourselves. We're competitors, and we are cut from the right cloth here at UIW. You know, I mean, this program has been built on some really, really gritty people. I mean, I was just on FaceTime with Eric Morris, and me and him got pretty emotional on the phone. Yeah, I mean, we're cut from the right cloth, and we had to figure some things out early in the season. We had to get some people in the right place, and figure ourselves out. Again, we lost a ton of players. I mean, we lost 7 guys to Power 4 schools, you know, which is hard. You know, we lost 2 coordinators. We lost some other assistant coaches and things like that, which, again, we are never going to sit here and make excuses. That's why we haven't been in the media making excuses or anything like that. But I am going to say something now, because I'm proud of the resilience of this football team. And I don't know what their rankings are. We haven't cared about the rankings ever here, but I know that they were, I want to say 7.5 point favorites or something like that. Touchdown favorites, or more than a touchdown favorites here at home. This is a tough place to play. And we got a good football team. And like I said, we're awake now.
They scored quickly and easily, but you obviously shut them out the rest of the game. What can you say about your defensive performance?
Yeah, Jim Gush is as good as it gets. He's got 40 years of experience. He's done this a long time. He's made me a better man since I've been around him. He's a heck of a football coach. You know, they responded the right way, didn't they?
I believe the record's 25-1 at home since 2021. What's been the secret of the success playing here at Vincent?
Bring your own juice. Bring your own juice, you know, regardless of what's in the stands, you know, regardless of the noise outside of the program. This was for us. We did this for ourselves, you know, and we had that conversation as a team. I talked to those guys on Friday nights. We talked this morning pregame, and I just had a feeling like we were awake. You know, last week at NAU, I was proud of the performance. You know, you have a punt that goes off of a kid's head like it's a soccer game and it's Cristiano Ronaldo, and it goes off his head 20 yards and then goes through our guys' hands. 4 plays later, they throw a Hail Mary. We're down 2 scores at halftime, and those guys fight all the way till the end, and we have a chance to win on the road against a good football team. I didn't hear that thing talked about one time in the media. They didn't talk about that punt that went off his head one time. They didn't talk about the Hail Mary. I mean, that's a lot to overcome, and those guys resiliently battled, and that's a good football team on the road. And so leaving that football game, I was really confident in these guys, and I felt like this was the week, man, where we were settled. We were in the right place. We were in the right frame of mind, and I felt like we were going to wake up, and yeah, you know, my thoughts came reality.
And last question, how important is it going to be to take care of business these next 2 home games that are also conference games?
Yeah, we're not thinking about 2 games. We're thinking about Sunday. We're thinking about being our biggest critics tomorrow, because we left a lot out there. Again, I thought the margin should have been bigger, to be totally honest with you. I know Jim felt the same way in the conversation that we just had. So we got to get better, because we're not there yet. We're just now peaking. We just woke up. So now we're gonna trend upward. We're gonna be really critical of these players, and they want us to be critical of them because they want to be the best version of themselves tomorrow. So we'll handle Sunday, we'll take care of Monday, and then we'll have a good week of practice. And we got a good football team in SFA coming here that's got an edge. Obviously, we're fully aware of how they feel about us. We celebrated a championship on their field, so we know that they've had us circled for a while, just like everybody else has. But again, we're awake now, and we're gonna have a good Sunday. We're gonna have a good week of work.
Talk about being woken up. It seems like y'all have gelled together, but more importantly, have established an identity offensively and defensively. You run the ball 59 times.
Yeah, they said we couldn't run it.
Of your 89 plays for 301 yards.
Yeah.
Just talk about the physicality that you felt like you had a physicality edge, but 301 yards doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, made a little bit of a statement. We got good backs. We got good guys up front. Again, last year, I mean, we lost our starting center. We lost both tackles. Both tackles went to Power 4 schools. Our center was a Harvard grad that was an elite level football player from a mental standpoint. Both our guards came back. We transitioned to Caleb Flores out there to tackle, so he's had to kind of go through those growing pains and stuff. But both those two guys are rock solid, you know. We didn't have Danny Valenzuela tonight, who's been a contributor for us, obviously. So we had a little bit of shuffle. Nick Young has done a tremendous job with our offensive line. Again, it's easy to look at paper and say, you know, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do the third. But when you get in the building and there's a ton of schematics and there's a ton of work that goes into gelling a football team, those are things you don't see, you know. So credit to Nick Young. I think he came out. I think we had a great run game plan. And then from the first pop of the pads, we felt like we had a physicality standpoint. We felt like we wanted to play more. We had something to go get. You know, so I felt like we needed to lean on those guys and run the football.
How'd you like EJ's progression from start 1 to start 2?
Yeah, he is. Me and EJ Colson are cut from the same cloth. We have a pretty special connection. You know, and I felt that when he went in the second half of UTSA, just kind of on the same wavelength. You know, obviously I think there's some plays that he wished he had back tonight. Didn't throw it as well as I know he can because I think he's an elite level thrower of the football. Utilized his legs a little bit. I think he went for over 100 yards. But he's a heck of a leader. And he's a gamer. And I mean, he's 18 years old, redshirt freshman. I mean, he's got a bright future. He's our guy. And again, we're excited about what's to come.
Last one for me. Big thing I was looking at was third down conversions. They were over 50% coming in here, and y'all had kind of struggled to kind of sustain drives. Vice versa.
Yeah.
They were 2 for 10, and y'all were 9 for 17. What y'all see on third downs, both offensively and defensively, that kind of was the big decider because y'all had over 40 minutes of time of possession?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing completely different that we saw, to be totally honest with you. I mean, it's kind of the tale of two halves. Again, we had to figure ourselves out. I mean, college football is a crazy world right now, and the shuffle that goes on in terms of personnel and staffing, especially at the FCS level, in the situation that we are in, it's hard, you know, and I just don't think that enough is put into the people aspect of it. You have to gel as people. You have to gel as a football team. And again, we had to figure some things out. We have a great plan. We have great coaches. We have really talented players, but we all got to get on the same page, you know. And I think that football is the greatest teacher of life. It's the most similar game to life, you know. And sometimes you got to go through a little bit of adversity to find yourself, and I think that's what we did.
Awesome.
Thanks, Coach.
Feel good?
Thanks,
Appreciate
Coach.
y'all.